Okay, so I'm gonna start, again, this is gonna be a random thing. I'm gonna share some links with you all. I'm gonna share some good stuff with you all. It's so interesting how 1 week can go by and so many things, beautiful things, can happen to just get you into the state of appreciating life to the max, you know? First of all, let me say thank you to all of you that filled my inbox with laughing emojis after I sent out my April Fool's video. And the reason that I disabled comments on that video was because I knew that when I sent that out, people would start sharing it with other people, and not everybody is in a vibe of, in a high vibe of laughter right now. Okay, some people, if you try to laugh, they're going to be going, "There's nothing to laugh about." I sent it to a few of my family members, and some of them laughed their heads off, and others were like, "This is serious. This is no joke." So the reason I disabled comments is because I don't know where that video would go, and I knew people were starting to share it. And the reason I knew that was because a handful of you wrote into me saying, "Can you put it on YouTube? I want to share it on Facebook." And I was like, "Okay, I'll put it on YouTube and you can share it." But I knew that once people started sharing it, I wouldn't know who's watching it. And some people are in a completely different vibe in terms of what's happening on our planet here. And I'll share a little bit more about that. But I did appreciate many of you replying, going, "Oh my gosh, that made my day." And let me tell you how that happened, right? Following my bliss. Siafu, you were the inspiration behind that. She has no clue. But on our last live stream, Siafu said, "You don't see an unmute option on your end." Well, I muted everybody, Dolores, so you're all set. You're muted. I just checked. You're muted. Oh, you shouldn't see an unmute. Oh, I don't know why that happened. I woke up on, I don't know, it was actually on April Fool's Day. And I remembered that Siafu shared in the last live stream, we were talking about getting off the internet and leaving Facebook and stop being in all of that because it affects your vibe. And I remember her saying, "I'm just enjoying all of the memes that are going out because they're quite funny." And I woke up on April Fool's Day, and for some reason, her comment came to mind. And I was like, "Oh, I don't know. There are funny memes out there. I should probably go search for some funny memes just to laugh." Like, I just love to laugh. I'm subscribed to a lot of comedy channels on YouTube just to laugh, My favorite one is Dry Bar Comedy because they're clean comedy and I really love them. But when that came to mind, I came into the office to work. True story. Came into the office to work, and that crossed my mind. I'm like, let me go look for some memes. Go into Google, and I typed in, what did I type in? I was like, top COVID-19 funny memes. And of course, that dragged me into Facebook. And I started watching the memes, one meme after another, after another, after another. And I swear to God, truth, I literally sat right here at my computer, woke up with the intention to work now, sat at my computer for 2.5 hours, clicking on one meme after another, laughing my ass off, okay? I was in hysterics laughing. At the end of which I was like, I cannot keep this to myself. I was like, this cannot just be for me. This was too funny to just be for me. And I created the first one, which is the White House press conference thing. That's one I created. But everything else I just pulled off the internet and put it into a video. I was like, if I'm having this much fun, I got to spread this fun. And so you all confirmed that you are laughing hysterically at it. So thank you, Siafu, for being the inspiration behind that. She didn't even know. But your comment was what sent me searching for it. And it was pretty darn funny. So I had a lot of joy in my week as a result of that. Okay, so again, buffet. One thing may not be connected to another, but I'm just sharing different things. I wanted to start out with a response to a subscriber, because what I'm going to share kind of made me feel like I should share this first, because what I'm going to share next would be beneficial for the person who asked this question to hear this part first. So the person on my email list said, was saying that channeling still feels weird to me if we're all one. She was referring to my video called My Untold Story, where I was sharing that I was having conversation with spirit, asking why are we channeling different beings if we are, and I have allergies, by the way, which is the worst thing to have right now, right? You go have allergies and you go to the store and sneeze and everybody goes, "Ugh, she's got it." So in my video on My Untold Story, I was sharing that I had that question for my divine team, like, why are we channeling different beings if we're all one? And so this person was saying, it still feels weird to me if we're all one, why is everybody channeling all these different entities? And I wanted to respond to that in a way that's different than what I shared in the My Untold Story video, so that this person can have a different way to look at it. First of all, you don't have to resonate with channeling. You can decide to follow people who don't channel because it resonates more for you. That's my focus in life right now, so I'm going to be doing it a whole lot and referring to it a whole lot. But if it doesn't resonate, it's okay for it to not resonate, and it's okay for you to not listen to channeling, and it's okay for you to not feel resonant with it. So by no means am I trying to change your perspective on it. You are where you are, and you can feel whatever you want to feel. But the couple different scenarios that I wanted to share to let you know where I'm at with it right now, because you were also asking where I'm at and how did I move from that, querying of, is this even real, and why are we even doing this on planet Earth if we're all one? One way that I look at it now, it's like you and I are one, right? Like, so me and Dolores would be talking but Dolores and I are one. But we both incarnated here to enjoy the experience of the perception of separation, even though we are indeed all one. So when I think of my divine team and the non-physical, I call them my non-physical friends now, right? When I think of my non-physical friends, it feels no different to me. If I'm having a conversation with Dolores, it's a delicious conversation. She's sharing perspectives. I'm sharing perspectives. We're going back and forth. We're having this beautiful conversation. At the end of the day, I know Dolores and I are one. I have that inner knowing that we're all one. But I'm so enjoying the deliciousness of the perception of separation, so that we can have conversation, we can hug each other, we can talk to each other, we can have that going on, right? And so when I think of my non-physical friends, I don't see it any differently. It's like I chat with Dolores and I chat with my non-physical friends. I chat with Siafu and I chat with my non-physical friends. And so it doesn't feel any different to me. They're playing the game just like we're playing the game of separation, right? We're playing that game. The other way that I look at it, because some people, she was also asking about, why are people going to channelers for answers? And nobody has to go to a channeler for answers, but I'll also describe it in this way. Each of you have spiritual teachers that you resonate with, right? Whoever it might be, you resonate with different spiritual teachers. When you go to them and they're sharing different spiritual insights, while you're receiving those beautiful spiritual insights that resonate so beautifully with you, you're not at the same time thinking, well, why am I listening to this person? He and I are one. I could get those answers for myself. I could get, she and I are one. I could get those answers for myself. You're not really thinking that. You're receiving the deliciousness of the wisdom that they're sharing because the universe brought them into your experience, and you're just enjoying that beautiful divine connection that you have on a physical level, and you love what they're sharing. In fact, you not only love what they're sharing, when you receive it and it resonates beautifully for you, you go tell someone else about it, or you share it with someone else. And I view my divine team in the exact same way. They're a beautiful co-creator in my experience. They share beautiful points of wisdom and insights. And when I receive it, it feels so good to me that I want to share it with other people too. And not only do I want to share it with other people too, I want to bring other people into the room when I'm having conversations with these divine, beautiful beings that are sharing that wisdom with me. So I don't see them as higher or lower. I know that they're equal to me. They tell me that all the time, that they and I are one. Yet they have a perspective that I don't have. It's kind of like if I'm talking to Charmaine, she may have a perspective that I don't have. And I'm really curious to know what her perspective is. And she would share something with me to make me go, oh, wow, yeah. It's kind of like how Siafu said, yeah, I'm just enjoying the memes. And I went, I want to go enjoy the memes too. So when I think of my non-physical co-creators, I don't see it as anything different. I see it as we are the same. I have that inner knowing that we're the same, but I know that their perspective is slightly different than mine because I'm steeped in the human journey and the human life. So my perspective tends to be tainted by the veil of forgetfulness, whereas they are not. And so when I'm connecting with them, it's just a beautiful dance and a beautiful co-creation and a conversation. So I don't see it as everyone needs to come hear what my divine team has to say, because everybody has their own damn divine team. You know what I mean? And you can connect on your own as well. But what we're experiencing in Conversations with Spirit, for example, that our monthly event, Conversations with Spirit, is there's some beautiful things in the coming together, having this conversation with our non-physical co-creators. When one person asks a question, what I see happening often is our non-physical friends will take that opportunity to address everyone that's present. And people who didn't, those who didn't have to ask the question receive at a different level. And the answer to the question, what I experience is that they not only answer that one person, but the answer is expanded to affect the lives of everyone that's there. So that's one benefit that I see. And it's kind of like having a really good friend, and you'll say, come, I'm going to go visit this really good friend. Come with me. She's so much fun. You know what I mean? And that's how I feel about my divine team and inviting people to come into conversation with me and my divine team. It's like, there's so much fun and they share so much great stuff. Do you want to hear it? Come hear it. And I feel that way about when I talk about my non-physical co-creators. I don't see them as any different than me. They just cannot be seen, you know? So they feel like friends to me. They feel like just wise old friends, who are not blocked by the veil of forgetfulness. And so their wisdom shines through and their answer shines through in a way that I may not put it. I'll share another thing with you. There are some days when I am downstairs and I'm done with dinner and I'm kind of cleaning up the kitchen, usually around 7 o'clock or so in the evening. And instantly I start feeling like a little bit of excitement because I know that in about 2 hours, I'm sitting on my bed with my non-physical friends having a chat about life. And that's how I see it. I see it as non-physical friends, and we don't argue with the fact that I'm calling Charmaine by name, right? And I can talk to her separately than I talk to Dolores or that I talk to Siafu. I don't argue with the fact that they all have separate names and I connect with them separately if they connect with me by email or whatever. And we have this I did too, raising my hand, had this block about non-physical beings, like they're supposed to be different, but they will allow us to name them. I don't resonate as much with naming them now, but they'll allow us to name them and that's okay. And they'll now allow us to address them like they're separate and that's okay. When I talk to Charmaine, I'm addressing her like she's separate, but I know that she and I are one. But it's okay. We're doing the dance of separation, playing the role of separation. And I don't see it any differently. Even though I was kind of arguing with the perception of separation when I'm connecting with my divine team and arguing with the experience of channeling, I'm past that now. And now they're just part of the friendships that I have in my physical experience. They happen to be non-physical and I just kind of gather with them. Sometimes I bring friends along to chat with them and sometimes I chat with them by myself. And that's how it feels to me now. It feels like we're equal. They're not higher than I. They just have a different perspective than I. And if I want to name them, I can, and they don't care, you know? So that's kind of how it feels to me. It's just like a beautiful beings who I love and trust. And they're here with me in this physical human experience. And I can go to them if I feel like it, and I can choose to not when I don't. And it's just a friendship like any other friendship to me, you know? So that's how I'll answer that question. Hopefully that's helpful to you. So now I'll go into the other part here in this buffet of different experiences that I'm sharing here today. Um, in last week's live stream, I should know better than to set an agenda, because last week's live stream I set an agenda and I was like, okay, we're gonna do this, and I hardly ever do that now. I usually leave everything up to spirit. But I had this agenda. I was like, we're gonna talk about different ways to remain in peace, and then we'll do this, and then we'll do this. Well, as the day went along, that kept changing, right? And different things kept coming to me about how to begin our event last week, which wasn't recorded, although I did record the first part on my iPhone, and that's what I'm going to share with you all in a minute. But each hour during the day, I kept feeling like something's shifting, something's changing. I'm going to be doing it different than I shared by email. But I don't usually worry about that. Usually, if I show up and I feel like something has shifted, I'll just share with people something shifted, and we're just going to flow with that. You know what I mean? Kind of like how we do in Conversations with Spirit, our monthly event. But an hour or so before our live event, it was very clear to me that that first item on the agenda was thrown off, and I wasn't going to be talking about several different ways to stay in peace. Spirit had a message that Spirit wanted to bring through, and I just simply surrendered to that, right? So, but I didn't know what the message was going to be. I just said, okay, I'm going to show up. I remember standing in front of the mirror, putting my makeup on, going, what is it that you want to say? Can you give me some kind of clue? And I just heard, just connect and we'll bring it through. You don't need to know ahead of time. And I was fine with that. I'm used to doing that now, especially with Conversations with Spirit events. That I don't question. I'm like, okay, I'll surrender to that. We'll just make it whatever we need to make it. And in the beginning, that's what I shared with everyone, is that I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth, but Spirit has a message that Spirit wants to bring through. Our non-physical friends has something to say, and I'll just let that come through me. And so it did. Interestingly enough, I thought I was talking for about 5 minutes. I literally did. And I don't know if some of you felt that way. I don't know if your eyes were closed while while it was coming through me, but I literally felt like I was talking for 5 minutes. And when I opened my eyes again, it was 25, 30 minutes later. And I wasn't quite sure of everything that came through, but I was in a different place. I was trying so hard to not let that show. But those of you who were there, I felt like like I left my body and I was trying to come back. Like literally after I was done talking, I was like so spaced out. I was completely, now that does happen from time to time when I am having conversations with Spirit, but it was really heavy last week. And I was trying to come back into the event, and it was really hard. And I didn't say anything during the event, but it was really hard for me to come back into the event. I felt like my head was somewhere else. I felt like kind of floaty and a little spacey. And that's why I was saying, let's just breathe and give this some time to sink in, because I was trying to come back, because it was so beautiful. So we did that, and we went from 0 to bliss in 30 minutes. Like those of you who were there, anyone who was at the last event here tonight, I know Siafu was there, but we went from 0 to bliss. Like after that, I felt like I could have shut down the event and we would be good, because everyone started saying it was freaking blissful. They went right into bliss as a result of that. And I knew to turn my iPhone on, even though I wasn't recording the event. I turned my iPhone on to record that part of it, which I'll share with you guys. I'll give you a link for where to download it in a moment. But yeah, Cloud was there, and everyone was saying they felt bliss, they felt peace, they felt serenity, they felt peace, serenity, and I was feeling that too, but I didn't know what I said, so I wasn't as tuned into the words that came through me. I felt the energy of it for sure, and I felt like I was swimming in the energy of it for damn sure, but I wasn't sure exactly what I said. So um, the next morning, I replayed it. It was my meditation for the morning. I decided because it kind of plays like a meditation. And I turned it on and I just sat with it and just really went into the words for the first time because I wasn't really, I don't necessarily hear the words per se when it's coming through me, but usually afterwards, if I listen to it now, it clicks. And so on a Sunday morning, I woke up and that's the first thing I did was replay that. And at the end of it, I opened my eyes and I felt the same way as I did on Saturday night when we first experienced it. And I was like swimming in the energy again. I was feeling completely heady, like almost to the point of feeling dizzy. And I was like, this is so strange, And finally, I connected with my divine team and I said, what's happening here? Like, why am I feeling like this? Like, I felt like that last night. And like, when it happened right after I brought the message through, I concluded because I was the vessel through which it came, that's probably why I'm feeling that way. Because sometimes in conversations with spirit events, I do feel a little heady. I do feel a little dizzy at sometimes when the energy is really big and palpable for the message that's coming through. Sometimes it really shakes my body and I feel a little bit dizzy. So I kind of concluded that's what it was. But when it happened again after I listened to it, the first time I listened to it through on Sunday morning, and I started feeling this woo dizziness again and this really headiness again, I said to my divine team, what's happening here? Like, why am I feeling this way when I listen to this? And I don't know if any of you have ever had this experience where, and I mean, I have conversations with my divine team all the time, so hearing them, it's not unique anymore. But at that point in time, I heard alchemy. What? What? And I wasn't sure why it got yelled into my psyche. Like it felt like they yelled that one word in response to me saying that, asking that question. I had never used the word alchemy ever. You could watch all my videos. I've never used the word alchemy. I don't think I've ever used it in a sentence. Okay. So I'm like, alchemy? What does alchemy mean? Right. And I grabbed my iPhone and I said to Siri, what does alchemy mean? And I looked up the meaning and let me look it up here because a couple things happened. I should have written it down. Let me look it up here. Hang on. I'm just going to go to Google for a second. Because what I focused on in the meaning was different. So, and there's two things that happened, the meaning and also another experience that I had. So there's a general meaning that's medieval, but the other one that I focused on, that my eyes were drawn to when I asked Siri what's the meaning of alchemy, was a seemingly magical process of transformation, creation, or combination. And my mind focused on the word seemingly, because you would think I'd go, oh, it's a magical process of transformation, but my mind didn't go there. For some reason, my mind focused on the word seemingly. And I just had this telepathic conversation at the time with my divine team. And the seemingly was more around, yeah, this seems magical and it seems like something radically shifting within you, because that's really what it felt like. And they were saying it seems magical and it seems big and it seems like there's some radical shift happening, and of course there's something happening energetically for me while I'm feeling a little heady and all of that. And they were saying it seems that way, but when you know that you are non-physical, it's not magical anymore. It just seems that way because you see yourself as a physical being, and you're having this transformational experience, which feels a little heady and it feels very high energy, and it seems magical and it feels that way, but it's not really because you're non-physical. And if you guys, some of you remember that were there, part of what came through was you are non-physical. We're inviting you back into your non-physical self. And I think that's part of the headiness that I was feeling. I literally felt like I was moving into my non-physical self, and I felt like I was um, being saturated by that experience of being my non-physical self again, outside of my physical body and outside of my physical apparatus. And that's the feeling that I got when I listened to it the second time around. And then a couple days passed, and I was like, well, I'm going to go listen to it again. And I listened to it again, same thing. And I'm like, this is really, really interesting. What also happened a couple days later, and I love when Spirit just confirms what's happening, right? Couple days later, you know how when you're watching YouTube and it starts showing you all of these random, videos that it recommends. And my eyes was just drawn to one of them. And I clicked on it. Now weren't talking about anything. Well, no, they were. The person was channeling. They were channeling, and they were referring to the pandemic and where we're at and the fact that we're moving into a new earth and all of that. And I'm like, ooh, that's confirming. And then she uttered these words, and I wrote them down because I was like, okay, thank you for the confirmation. But she said, with regard to this pandemic, there is an alchemy taking place at the soul level within each and every one of you. Whatever no longer matches your frequency is being purged within you at the moment. You are physical souls that are also non-physical. That could not be any more confirming to the words that came through last week when we did that opening meditation. So I was like, oh my gosh. But every time I listen to this, I feel like my head is in the clouds every single time. And I feel a dramatic shift within me every single time. Now, that's not going to last forever. Everything is impermanent. Whatever is being purged out and whatever is being shifted and changed will happen, and then it'll be over. Nobody will listen to this anymore. We'll move on to other things to listen to. But the other thing that occurred, and I shared this with a girlfriend of mine, ever since January 1st, 2020, I have been feeling these vibrations in my body. And I don't know if any of you have ever felt that, but it feels like a tremor. But it only happens to me right before I drift off to sleep. And if I wake up in the middle of the night, I feel it. Originally, I was waking up in the middle of the night feeling it. It feels like my body is trembling, but it felt like, here's the sensation it feels like. It feels like somebody was shaking the bed. And every time it happened, because my puppy sleeps on his bed, on the side of my bed. And every time it happened, I thought he jumped up into my bed. And I'd wake up looking for him and he'd be like snoring in his bed, right? And then I'd lay back down and I'd notice that it's actually happening inside of me. This tremor is happening inside of me. And it feels like somebody is shaking my bed, but it's actually happening inside of me. And it happened for a couple of months in January and February, and then it kind of dissipated. And then it came back because I started listening to this. And I was like, okay, the body vibrations have returned. It's not scary or anything. It's just this sensation energy it literally feels like somebody's shaking my bed. But if I wake up, I don't feel like my bed is shaking. I feel like my body is vibrating. It's like a buzz. It feels like a buzz inside of my physical body. Not uncomfortable. It's just this buzzing, that happens. So that came back last week as I continued to listen to the recording. Here's the other thing that happened this week. I started to feel, and this is perhaps part of the shift that's happening, but I started to feel like every time I heard about what's happening in the world, it felt like it was the past. Like anytime someone talked about it, they were talking about something that's happening now, but I felt like I moved out of that reality and I'm out now in this new reality. So everything that they say sounds like the past to me. And it was a weird sensation. Any of you here tonight that were in Playground of Desire? Any of you were there in Playground of Desire? There was an aspect of the Playground of Desire experience, and it's still on my website. But in Playground of Desire, Tanya was there, okay, and I know Siafu was there too. There was a segment of Playground of Desire, and that whole experience was very heavily spirit focused too. But there was an aspect of Playground of Desire where we had this really strong transformational experience where we changed the past, right, to affect our future. And I can't exactly remember the exercise that I was led to do with you all, but I remember everyone came out of it and they're like, whoa, that was heady, or that was really, significant. That's what it feels like to me right now when somebody talks to me about what's going on in the world. It feels like that's my past. And it feels like I'm in some new reality. Tanya is saying, yes, she still uses it to this day. Yeah, that exercise about changing your past so that you affect your future. That experience that we had in Playground of Desire, that's what it feels like whenever someone says to me something is happening in the world. My brother, I sent him that funny video that I had published, and he wrote back to me. He goes, Allison, please, he's in Trinidad. Please talk to mom. She still wants to go out. Now, my mother is 85 years old, and she's hearing all the high risk over 60. And she's like, I have the blood of Jesus over me. She has no fear whatsoever. I have the blood of Jesus over me. I'm gonna go out and get my fish. She doesn't care. And they're on lockdown in Trinidad too. And my brother is begging me to beg her not to go out. Now I guess there must be some stores open or whatever. She wanted to go to the bank and get some money so she could get some fish and get some food. And she does not feel any fear around this at all. And my brother is texting me, Allison, mom is getting ready to go out. She's not obeying what we're supposed to be doing. Can you please tell her to stay home? And I'm in a whole different place on the whole thing, right? But I know that they're trying to get people to stay home, which, yeah, we should obey it. That's fine. Not out of fear, but we'll just honor the shift that wants to happen here. But and then he said to me, I asked her to watch this video and she still wants to go. And he sent me the video. Now, the video is a nurse somewhere in the US literally bawling and begging people to stay home because she's on the front line seeing all the illnesses and all these different things that are happening with people who have contracted the virus. And she's breaking down, begging people to stay home, lives are being lost, and she's going through this whole video, sharing her experience on the front lines, doing, her nursing and all of that. And I'm watching the video and I'm feeling a tremendous amount of compassion, but I'm completely unaffected from a fear perspective. And again, I'm watching it and it feels like I'm watching the story of a movie of something that I experienced in the past. And I can't, with human words, describe what it feels like. It just feels like every time I hear something, and I'm very much outside of what's happening. I'm not on social media. As I said, I don't watch the news. I don't hear anything. In fact, last week my son came out of his room. I'm not watching the news, okay? I'm not checking social media. I'm not checking any kind of media to get updates on anything. But my son comes out of his room. He goes, Mom, what's happening on Friday? They said something's happening on Friday. Do we have to stay at home? And in Georgia, we were a little bit laxed because I don't know why. But nothing seemed different when I go out. You know, when I went to the grocery store a couple of times this past week, I didn't see anything different. They had big signs saying stand 6 feet apart from each other, and evidently nobody's paying attention to the sign. But they made some dramatic shift in Georgia, and they shut down all non-essential employees. And so I think that's what they were talking about. And my son came out and he said, Mom, they're doing something on Friday. Something's happening on Friday. Instead of turning on the news, this is what I did. I grabbed my iPhone and I'm texting my ex-husband. I'm like, hey, is something happening in Georgia on Friday? I live in Georgia. He's in New Jersey. And I'm like, you know me, I don't watch the news. So is something happening that I need to know about? And he says, yeah, you all have a stay in place order now. And I'm like, what the hell is that? I was like, I live staying in place. So what does that mean? And so he's explaining what stay in place means. And I sent him that funny video as well, which he didn't think was funny because he thinks there's no joking around here. And he goes, you're not supposed to go out. And if you do go out, wear a mask and wear gloves. And I'm like, I don't even have a mask and gloves. So I'm trying to understand what's happening here, which doesn't really affect my life much at all. I mean, I leave the house maybe 2 times a week, right, to go get something, you know, some food or something. So I'm having this conversation with my brother, and he's telling me about my mother, but everything feels like when my son said that, and then my ex-husband was like, oh, this is serious. This is not to be played with. And, you know, because I sent him the video and I'm having a blast, right? The funny video, and the April Fool's video. And he didn't think it was funny. He was like, this is serious. We need to take this seriously. But even when he was saying that and sharing what he was sharing, again, I had this overwhelming sense like, this is the past. I've moved past this experience. I'm in the new earth, in my new reality. That's what I felt like. And I felt like everything that connected me in some way to what's happening right now has dissipated in some way. And I can't describe. I don't know that I have human words to describe what actually happened and why I am feeling the way that I am. But I think it partly has to do with the meditation that came through and everything that's happening right now. But I don't know for sure. All I know is I feel like I'm in a whole nother zone. Okay. I feel like I feel like I'm in a whole nother zone. Oops. And everything feels different to me. And I can't describe with human words what I feel like, but I feel completely different. And I definitely feel like I've whooshed out of my body whenever I listen to that meditation. Now, I'm not claiming that that's going to, you know, some of you may listen to the meditation and go, didn't do nothing for me, you know, which is totally fine. But everybody will have their own experience with it. So I've put that meditation at, what's the link? So I affectionately called it alchemy, right? Having understood all of that and having had that experience. I wanted to share that story so that you guys understood why I called it alchemy. It's at AlisonPhillips.tv/alchemy. If you type that in, it'll download it right to you. And you can have fun with it this week. Let me know if anything happened for you. There's another audio that I sent out to the Conversations with Spirit members where what happened was my older son, we're having a conversation about something, and he said, Mom, did you know that the death toll in the US took 2 months to get to 1,000, and in the last week it went up to 2,000? And I have no knowledge of death tolls. Okay, I have none. I don't even know what the death toll is now. And when he said that, suddenly I was like, wow, why are so many people choosing to exit the planet right now? And so I went into conversation with Spirit on that. I'm like, tell me why? Why is everybody choosing to exit the planet right now, right? And I won't go into that whole audio and that I sent out to the Conversations with Spirit folks, but Um, Toward the end of that audio, one of the things that they shared was, um, we are each here in this time and space to hold the space for others, um, and really be that vessel of love and light and transcendence, and be in that place on behalf of Earth and on behalf of everything that's happening on Earth right now. And it was just a beautiful feeling to know that we chose to come here in this time to experience this radical shift to our new Earth. And it has just been beautiful in the last week, all of the different experiences that we're all having and everything that's actually transpiring. I feel like there's, and I don't know if any of you are experiencing this, I certainly see it. Spiritual teachers are literally like, there is so much spiritual content being shared right now. There are people that are coming onto their screens and microphones and YouTube and Facebook daily with spiritual teachings. It's like flooding the planet right now. You can find a spiritual teacher, an awakened spiritual teacher, sharing beautiful insights probably every single hour of every single day right now. When has that ever happened on planet Earth? Right? I saw a Yanla Van Sant doing something every single day, and she's there for like an hour every day. There's someone else that I follow that does something every single morning. There's another person that I saw, he does something every single morning. There's like this flooding of upliftment and encouragement and insights and awareness and all these beautiful teachings that are just being just flooding the internet. Now I'm sure there's people flooding the internet with fear, and I don't know. I don't see that. Okay, I see everything else but that, because I'm not tuned into that. I'm not tapped into that. But gosh, there's so that you cannot, if you are tuned into spiritual people and awakened souls, you'll find content all week long. Like right after this, I'm going into a meditation with what's his name, Bentinho Massaro, that I follow from time to time. He's having a global meditation at 10 o'clock tonight. Actually, I don't know if it's 10 o'clock my time. I should check that. But there's all these spiritual teachers that are just showing up, man, and flooding our screens with all of this beautiful insights and content and meditations and upliftment and words of encouragement and pointing us back to our true selves. And it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. Cities that were filled with smog, they're now seeing the sun. Right, they're seeing the beautiful sky, they're seeing the stars, right, because all the cars are off the streets. Nature is like blossoming. This is like the most booming blossoming spring ever, because nobody's in their cars. Right, like the earth is just bouncing back into this revival, as far as I can see anyway. Now I know there's stuff happening, but I feel like I have shifted energetically into a different timeline than what's happening, that everybody is seeing right now. It feels like I am breathing a breath of fresh air. It feels like here we are in the new earth. And in that meditation at the very end of it, that's the shift at the very end, where Spirit was saying, welcome, welcome to the new earth, welcome to the new version of you. And it was just, it's so visceral when they share those words. It's like you can just feel yourself moving into it. At least I did. Everybody will have a different experience with that. But planet Earth is rebounding with luscious green, and the skies are blue. And I was walking outside today, and it's blue skies and this beautiful white clouds just gently moving by, and the roads are completely empty because everybody's staying in place, you know. And it's just, I can see the beauty of everything that's happening. Um, The other thing that I wanted to share was this was another suggestion, and I'll type it into, I hope I can type it in. Yeah, I can type it in. This was somebody sharing a message from Esther Hicks, Abraham Hicks. And I think she came on live. She's doing all of her, normally she would be touring the country and doing cruises and such, but I guess they're doing live streams now. And someone clipped a piece of something that she shared live. It was just beautiful to listen to, just beautiful, and so resonant with what I am feeling right now. And if you look at the comments beneath it, you could see everyone going, yes, I feel this new earth. I feel the revival of earth. I feel a new version of earth being birthed. I feel how beautiful nature feels. Somebody was saying, I've never heard the birds near my house, and the birds are just all over now, and I'm hearing the birds for the first time, and there's just all this beauty unfolding right now. Let me share the link here. Whoop. I'm going to post the link in Zoom here, to that YouTube video. It's just beautiful. The person that posted it put words to, let me put it in the chat stream on YouTube as well. Whoop. Uh-oh, I can't get it on. You know what? I'll put it in the comments. For some reason, I can't get into the chat. Wait, hang on. I wonder if this will change. Okay, let me not. I'll put it below the YouTube video afterward. And it was such a beautiful video that just completely encompasses everything that I'm feeling right now. Like, I feel like I'm in a new earth. I feel like I've left everything behind. Someone else was sharing in one of the many beautiful videos that I watched this week, that there are many people who won't experience the beauty and the blossoming of what's happening right now. And that's okay. They're in a different place. It's all right. Don't try to get them to understand you. Don't try to tell people that a new earth is blossoming. Don't tell people who are not where we are what's happening right now. They won't understand you. It's going to be like speaking Italian. You know what I mean? And to people who only speak English, they're not going to understand it. Don't try to get them to understand it. It's just not going to work, right? Just be in this. Just be. Just be. I just feel so good in this right now. It's just so beautiful. It's 10 p.m. with Bentinho. Cool. Yeah, so I'm going to try to catch the 10 p.m. thing with Bentinho. It's a global meditation. And it's just such a, I don't know if you all are y'all feeling it? Talk to me. Are y'all feeling this? Am I alone in the new earth already? Did I get here too early? Did I get here too early, or some of you are there with me? I don't know. After you listen to that meditation, you might be there with me. But let me just check in with any of you. Let me know. Type. Get your fingers to the keyboard, or you can raise your hand and I'll unmute you as well. I just want to know if any of you are feeling like this move into a new timeline, a new refreshing timeline. Like, everything that's currently happening feels like the old, and you're feeling like, I am moving into something new. Something new is blossoming here. A new earth is being born, and I'm going right into it, you know? Rachel is saying, I definitely felt the shifts even more yesterday. Yeah, I've been feeling it all week. All week I've been feeling it. Definitely, it's exciting. And that's what I feel right now. I feel like all of the concern and everything that's happening, I feel like it's still happening on some version of Earth. I know it is, but I'm not there. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I've left that reality in some way, and I've moved into an entirely different reality. The other thing that I wanted to mention is just hearing of all of the different shifts in terms of what's actually what's actually happening, and what's blossoming, different things that are blossoming right now. You know, I feel like in this new earth, we're going to be doing things in a different way, you know? All of the experiences that we had in the old earth, you know, through this purging and through this energetic purging, we're going to be thinking in a different way, doing things in a different way, and just having an entirely different experience. Soul is saying, yesterday I started creating channel with my sister. We both decided to be creative on our shows. Good for you. I was worried because I was not sure if I'll be in Korea or US, but I feel thanks to for being here, and I'll trust it all. So I just got a flush of chills as you wrote that. That's confirmation for my divine team always. Beautiful. Glad to know you're doing that. Um, I felt this beautiful shift into new things that are emerging, and new monetary systems. Things are shifting, man. Have you all ever seen the government give away so much money? I feel like they're like Oprah, 10,000 for you. You get 10,000. You get 10,000. You get 10,000. Everybody gets 10,000. These were the business owners. And there's all these different programs, paycheck protection program, and the this and the that, you know. And I have some business owner friends that were sharing a lot of that. And I'm like, that's going to wake them up. That's going to wake them up, man, in terms of what's happening. And even medically, oh, that's the other thing I wanted, the other link that I wanted to share. And let me go there myself right now. Hope I don't mess up the live stream. Okay. I was listening to somebody that was talking about how our medical systems are going to change. You know, Gia's laughing. Gia, you're here. You must be a non-essential employee. I know you always tell me you can't be here because you're working on Saturday. Did everything shut down where you are? You're not working anymore? Tanya is saying, I feel more of a new me. Yeah, that's how I feel right now. I can't describe it with human words. I just energetically feel it. I'm evolving and transcending some things. I hear you, girl. Aren't we all, right? Okay, where is my thing? Okay. I was on somebody's video thing where I can't remember who the heck it was. I can't remember. I watched so many different things because once you start watching those, YouTube starts sending you all kinds of suggestions from all kinds of different people. But she was sharing these different links for online doctors. And I wanted to share all that with you now. I am a energy healing woman. I believe in first moving into energetic healing, but not everybody is there. Okay. And you may have family members for whom this may be beneficial. For me, if my son says, I need to go to the doctor, I go, why? And every time he says that, he experiences healing of whatever the thing is he wanted to experience healing from. So I just do kind of remote healing on him, and whatever the thing is that he's been complaining about eventually disappears. So that's my response whenever he says he wants to go to the doctor now. But some of you may have family members in all of these shifts and changes for whom this may be beneficial. So you don't need to write anything down that I'm going to say here, because I'll give you the link where you can get the list of everything. There's this medical service called on-doc.com that's $30 a month for your entire household, and you have unlimited access to doctors, mental health experts, but the mental health experts is an additional cost, but you have 24/7 email and video access to doctors. $30 a month covers your entire household. There's another one called blinkhealth.com. Now, all of this is coming to light because of what's happening. I mean, I'm sure they existed before this, but all of a sudden it's blossoming, right? Blinkhealth.com offers significantly discount prescriptions. Some of you may have family members who aren't in our space and they're paying a ton of money for prescriptions. That may be helpful to them. There's another one called lemonadehealth.com for one-time online doctor's visits, zero ongoing cost. So you could just, I think it's $25 for a doctor's visit, and they'll write you a prescription if you need something. That's another one. Many of you probably know of zennioptical.com for high quality, low cost glasses. There's Web Eye Care for high quality, low cost contact lenses. The link that you can find all of that on is AllisonPhillips.tv/medical. I just cut and pasted there, AllisonPhillips.tv/medical. Um, and again, I tend to not go to doctors. I tend to be more focused on self healing, which has worked for me thus far. I mean, I don't mind going to a doctor. I'm not against going to the doctor. I just go to self healing first. If I feel like I'm really inclined to go see a doctor, I will. But now there's all these online doctors and online ways to access all of these different things. And it's blossoming in our new earth, totally blossoming. Our medical system will completely change. I love the on-doc.com concept. I just want to see that for energy healers. That concept is all of these doctors being available by video and email 24/7. And you pay one flat fee and you get access to all of these doctors, right? I would love for someone to start, and I know Anita Mujani has a similar concept that she's starting. Follow her on YouTube if you haven't. She really is in the space of energy healing and seeing the world in a different way in terms of doctors. And I know she was starting some kind of monthly thing where you pay a flat fee and you come in and there's a lot, access to energy healers and just a space to experience some kind of misalignment in energy, AKA disease, right? Misalignment in energy or illness in a different way outside of the traditional medical scope of things. But I would love to see something like on-doc for the energy healers, and where you can experience long distance healing and Reiki masters and all of these different things, And I think we're going there. Anita Mojani really has a great idea, and I hope it does blossom and go in that direction, because I think that's a beautiful concept. Rachel is saying, that's so funny. I remember asking my divine team about that 2 years ago, the medical system changing to be more of a buffet counseling format. Yeah, there we are. For some reason, I don't see the post on Esther Hicks. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I posted to panelists and I'm the only panelist. That's why. All right, let me post the Esther Hicks thing again. I need to change this. Send it to everyone. Boom. There you go. And I'll post the other two links too. So there's the alchemy link and YouTube. People on YouTube, I'll post it to YouTube afterward. That's the alchemy one, and that's the medical one. So I think everything is shifting. And in this new earth, man, and when you listen to that Esther Hicks thing, that and also the alchemy audio, you'll be in a different place. You'll be in a different place, okay? In terms of what's happening here, you'll begin to feel like that's the old, and the new earth and the ushering of the new, our new experiences is where you feel like you are, I really feel that way. I truly, truly feel that way. Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to share with you all. I think I'm complete, unless anyone had any questions. I think the government itself is going to wake up, and this is bringing light to the fact that, people who are passing away because they don't have access to medical, that's coming to light right now too. People who don't have medical coverage or medical plans, etc. That's coming to light right now. And I believe like the way that we're set up with regard to business, look at all this money they're giving away. It's like somebody said, the government is literally printing $1 trillion every day right now, because everything got shut down. Nobody has money to move on. My mortgage company sent me an email saying, take 3 months off. I'm like, I'm gonna do that. Like, why am I? I'm not gonna say no to that. I didn't ask for it. And all you had to do was go to their website and say, yeah, I want to take 3 months off from paying my mortgage. I'm saying yes, thank you. You know, and a lot of things are happening now that will give birth to a lot more of that happening. Will the government give away $10,000 every day? Probably not. But I think everything that's happening now with regard to businesses who have had to lay off people and now they have to rehire them back, and then the government is giving them free money to just pay their staff. I mean, what business owner would not be happy with that? You know what I mean? So there's a lot of shifts and changes in terms of how we do business. And can't wait for the lights, water, and other companies to chime in, right? I know. I was saying to my ex-husband, I was like, did your mortgage company give you 3 months off? Because mine just did, like randomly. Not everybody's company did that, but a lot of them are very open to doing that, you know? Um, like, who would say no? My mortgage company says take 3 months off from paying your mortgage. I'm like, yeah, yes, thanks. Right? They didn't even ask any questions, no qualifiers or anything. They're like, just let us know and we're just not going to bother you for 3 months. Like, okay, I'll take that. Right? There's just so much happening that it was like, when have we ever experienced such a thing? When? Never. And I think everything that's blossoming and happening right now, like the government is just trying to play catch up with what the hell is happening, right? Because I don't think, other than printing $1 trillion every day, need money, we'll just print more money, just take more money. That's fine. Who else needs money? Okay, here you go. Business owners are getting money to pay their staff. You know what I mean? I think that's part of the shift too, you know? Good time to be alive and woke. Yes, Gia, for sure, for damn sure, it's a good time to be alive and woke. It's just a beautiful experience overall. You know, I am just happy to be alive. I'm grateful that I chose to be a part of this shift. I didn't know that's what 2020 had, man. But I am very grateful that my soul decided that it wanted to be a part of this. I am very, very grateful. I have no hesitation about being in this time and space at this particular time. Siaf was saying, I can see that happening for the whole world. I know. I mean, I know what's happening here in the US, but man, Canada is pretty generous, though. Who's from Canada? Charmaine is from Canada. Canada is pretty generous with their medical system. That's the thing. We need to adopt something like Canada, you know, in terms of our medical system. It's time to shift, man. It's time to shift that. Yeah, Charmaine is saying, yes, it's free. Okay, I'm pack my bag, moving to Canada. Oh, I mean, it's time we start taking care of people, right? And not making it like a privileged thing. If you have money, you get to see a doctor. If you don't have money, you don't. What the hell is that? You know what I mean? It's time to start changing these things. And they will change. They will change. Rachel is saying, I thought that was so hilarious. I'm like, we created money. Why not print enough for everyone? And here they are. Yeah, girl. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All of a sudden, there's all this money, right? In the past, like a year ago, you'd say to the government, we need money for this, or we need money. No, we don't have any money with them. All the money is, and all of a sudden, who needs money? What? Okay. And all this free money is going to the businesses. It's just crazy. Gia saying coworkers are really afraid. I just like being a light for them. What kind of business are you in, Gia? And is everybody home in your working environment? I think everybody is at home at this point, right? I think so. Costco still? Oh, that's grocery shopping. So they're still open. I can imagine that they are open. You work every day. Wow. Yeah, they must be pretty darn busy. Yeah, I think really just being the light, you know, and holding that space for people, like my divine team was saying, and when I was asking them, you know, the question of why are so many people leaving the planet, at the end of that audio was just a really big invitation for us to be grateful that we're here to hold a space for others, right? as you all make that shift and as you all come into that knowing, whether with that meditation I did last week or something else that brings you into that new space and that new knowing of all that is occurring here, it's a beautiful time, man. It's a beautiful time. And as the more we, as Esther Hicks always says, if you focus on what's happening, you're in that energy and you're creating more of that. And if we can all move into the energy of what is ahead, and that beautiful video that I shared, that someone posted with her, with Esther Hicks's thing, it was just such a beautiful reminder that a new earth is blossoming right now, man. It's a new earth, and I'm so excited for what's ahead. I'm really excited for what's ahead. Um, Gia is saying work every day. It's crazy. Is it busy in Costco still? Are they doing that 6 foot thing? Keep 6 foot apart. I see the signs everywhere, but nobody's paying attention to the 6 foot thing. Is it really busy? Like, it's still busy. Like, what are people buying? They got enough damn toilet paper. Like, what are they getting at Costco? Jeez. Buying everything. That's incredible. Wow. Rachel is saying, I personally feel the shift, but my family is stuck in the old earth. What are you going to do? You know, my family's in the old earth still. A little trying at times, but I'm staying in high vibes as much as possible. And really just feed yourself, everyone. Just find ways to, there, like I said, there's a bazillion spiritual teachers right now that have something beautiful and uplifting to share every single day. You can find them and they'll have something to share every single day. Most of them are free right now. And it's just a beautiful, uplifting experience. And you can, like, that's all I'm taking in right now. That's all I'm taking in stuff. And the beautiful thing is, as I experienced this shift this week, I can't tell you how many YouTube videos that I listened to that was in perfect alignment with that shift. But how could it not be, right? If I'm there vibrationally, everything that comes into my experience will be there vibrationally, right? So I am like just pouring in more and more of what was said in that meditation is just pouring into my experience right now by YouTube video suggestions. Like, I'm not even going looking for it. I'm just looking to the side. I'm like, oh, I'll listen to that. Oh, I'll listen to that. And it's all beautifully in alignment with where I am in this shift and this new reality that I feel like I've stepped into, and this new timeline that I feel like I'm on. And the people that are not there, leave them where they're at. You don't have to offer commentary on anything that's said. You know, we feel like we owe people a response when they offer their opinion, but you could hear somebody's opinion and just go, interesting. And that's it. Like, you don't have to offer a response, right? That's my thing now. It's like, interesting. Wow. And I move back, as I'm saying interesting, I'm moving back into the energy of my new timeline and where I'm at and what I'm feeling like, right? Rachel's saying people are so bored. People are so bored they go to the store. That's probably true, right? It's boredom shopping, retail therapy. I tell you what, I have been unfortunately binging on cooking videos. Not a good thing because I'm in my kitchen cooking every day, which is not the norm for me. I usually cook once a week. And because my 2 kids are home and they don't eat what I eat, I'm cooking for them. Like, I have never baked so much bread and bread items. Like, I stopped eating bread because it's so heavy and it made me fall asleep every time I ate it. I have baked so many different kinds of bread in the last week. It's ridiculous. And there was somebody was saying that they started to bake bread with their kids. If anybody's interested in a really super simple, literally 10 minutes to make homemade bread, go to Artesian Steve, uh, Artesian Bread with Steve on YouTube. He has like a simple thing that you just stir something together in about 5 minutes at night, cover it up. Next day, you wake up, you got bread, stick it in the oven. You got like, I'm down with that, man. And I've been unfortunately making all kinds of bread And tomorrow I'm making hot cross buns, which I would never eat, but here I am. So that's my boredom outlet. It's just in the kitchen cooking, 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 and cooking things I never would actually cook. Because I was looking for recipes that my sons would eat because they don't eat, because I'm veganish. So I tend to eat a lot of veggies and a lot of weird foods, like chia bread and quinoa bread and all that stuff, right? Which I'm making and eating, but I've been making food that I don't normally eat because they like blandish American food, like hamburger helper. That's not something I would ever make in my house, but they eat that, so I make that. So I've been making stuff that I really normally would never eat. Just did your first quinoa bread today. I know, isn't it good? It's quinoa and water, and I love baking powder, right? Yeah. Rachel is saying I've been out in nature a lot more. Yeah, so have I. So have I. And it's beautiful. It feels different. It just feels different. I don't know, man. It just feels different to me. How Rachel's saying I do that and they get angry. Angry at you for doing that. They get angry at you for just saying interesting and not responding. They're like, come into our world of suffering, damn it. That is too funny. Okay. Like they don't like you not seeing their point of view. Yeah. But eventually my family's coming around because I'm just being myself. Yeah. Eventually they'll either just move on to not talking to you because you're too boring to talk to. Because who wants to go to somebody and go, oh my God, what's here is happening? And you just go, yeah, it's all right. It's interesting. They want somebody to be in the drama with them. Um, Lizzie is saying, just did your first quinoa bread. I read that. Okay. Artesian bread with Steve. Yeah, he rocks, man. Yeah, been baking bread for 10 days. It's so easy to make bread his way. It's like literally, you don't have to knead the bread. People go to Artesian Bread with Steve and make some bread. And nothing like the smell of, not that you should be eating as much bread as I'm eating right now. I think I'm about 200 pounds, but nothing like the smell of bread like wafting through the house, man. Oh, and I make gluten-free bread too, but for some reason, I went back to Artesian Bread with Steve and started making all kinds of stuff. My kids come in, what are you making now? What are you making now? And I'm from the Caribbean, so I was making roti bread too. And curried potatoes and chickpeas. Oh my gosh. Made all kinds of roti in the last week. It's just ridiculous how much bread I've been making. All kinds of bread. All right. Well, we are complete unless anyone had any questions. Oh, Dr. Lizzie wanted to talk. Hang on. Let me allow you to talk, ma'am. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Look,
let me up my volume. Hang on. I'm not hearing you that loudly. Wait, hang on. All right, Miss Lizzie, go ahead.
Okay, the bread, I had never made bread until 10 days ago when I taught, because I posted something to help someone meditate. And to help anyone meditate and get into meditation, because that's what I'm training right now. And this lady sent me the link, and I have been baking for 10 days, never did bread ever in my life. I am loving it, and everyone in my house is loving it.
Of course, it's so simple and easy, right?
Yes.
He's like the quick man way to make bread.
Exactly. And on top of that, it's just I'm getting so creative with it and adding some flaxseed and some sesame seed. I just feel the creativity in my house has just boom.
That's blossoming in the whole world right now, y'all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then I'm originally from Bolivia, so I have a group of girls that I've started to help to meditate, and we've also been meeting just for chat, not meditation. So last night we had a 3-hour meeting with my classmates where we spoke about everything, and it all ended with this spiritual high.
Wow.
Now,
Wow.
not everyone was on board at the beginning of the spiritual high.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them got a little, they were just trying to gear the conversation towards the negative, towards the news. And with a compassion grounding that I had at that moment,
Yeah.
everyone just shifted to this hopefulness. And this morning, when I put my meditation class on Zoom, one of those people showed up and cried and released her whatever she released throughout the whole meditation.
Yeah. Wow. This
Yeah,
is a
it was
catalyst for change in so many lives, man.
then one last thing, and then I'll let you guys go. We were walking the other day and end up finding this at the foothills of the mountains here in
Mhm.
Las Cruces, this field of poppies that was like a golden rug.
Wow, I can see that. Wow.
I'll send you by email some of the pictures I took. It was
Please
just
do. Yeah. That
unbelievable,
sounds so beautiful.
unbelievable.
Wow.
It was like God had descended and just
Mm,
bathed this foothill, the mountain, the
mhm.
foothills of the mountain. Yeah, it was just amazing.
Wow.
Anyway, my love to everyone.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. Wow, that's beautiful. Anyone else have something to share? I do want to ask. So here's the question I want to ask. And Lizzie answered it though, but I just want to hear like, what if you are experiencing a shift in your world, like you're seeing what's beautiful about it, you're having experiences that you never would have had if this planetary shift had not occurred. You're doing things you never would have done had this planetary shift not occurred. It would be good for us to share that with each other as part of the upliftment of this particular experience. I see Rachel saying definitely cooking a lot more too. Got my family eating more plants. That's cool. If only I can have my sons eat plants. My younger son, if anything looks any color other than white pasta, he doesn't want it. He barely wants to eat meat, which is not a bad thing. I mean, I don't normally cook meat, but yeah, he's GA saying eating healthier. Cool. Siaf was working a lot of puzzles. Cool, cool. That sounds like fun. So Gia, why eating healthier? Is it just it just sort of happened? Or you just don't have food? No, you got food. You're at Costco. Anyone else? What are y'all doing? Like, what are you doing during this time? I know Soul is being creative, of course. Send me your YouTube channel, Soul. I want to see some of the stuff you're doing. Soul is saying, I just feel anything is possible. So if I stay here in Seoul, I'll go to the Entertainment Academy and play with singing. Oh, cool. Beautiful. Who else wants to share? What's going on with you, JoJo? I see you up there. Oh, it's really late in the UK right now, isn't it? Isn't it like 2:00 in the morning? She's probably half asleep. Don't call on me, Allison. I'm half asleep. Cool. So thank you. Yes, please do send it. Send me the link when it's ready. GA saying, I just felt the need to plus a size 8. I want to stay in. There's such a shift with so many different things happening, you know. I just feel this openness, you know, this openness for so much possibility and so much. I see a lot of possibilities, beautiful possibilities blossoming here. Tanya is saying, looking a lot at YouTube videos that make me laugh too. Yeah. If you like comedy, go to Dry Bar Comedy. I love that channel. Like the Ellen Show, I love that too. I can't subscribe to Ellen though because you get like 92 clips a day, and it just gets too busy. But I do go to her every so often. Like the Ellen Show when she surprises people, sailors returning home, actors surprise. Yeah, I love when she does that. She's such a beautiful soul, isn't she? Beautiful. Nora is saying, besides teaching online now, I know, right? Here we are teaching online. I've been connecting with other friends and doing some spiritual activities. It's so nice. I know. I bet you there are millions of people for the first time in their lives discovering who they truly are. May not necessarily be awakening per se, but they're discovering that they are a person aside from the job that they've been going to, that they are a person aside from the children that they parent, that they're a person aside from the spouse that they are, and they're getting a lot of time to just be themselves and return to the thing that they love. Like people are getting into music and crafts and cooking, and ain't nobody doing that when they go to work, like working 9 to 5, right? When everybody's working 9 to 5, they ain't thinking about cooking and crafts and singing and all that stuff. You know what I mean? For me, it's been quite an experience because I'm completely by myself. Ooh, give me some of that. I'm with my 2 kids the whole time, and I'm the only one that's leaving the house every so often. Everybody else is kind of hanging out in their rooms, or my son gets online and does classes and things like that. Someone else saying awareness of building my immune system, focusing on my health. Still have to work, but not complaining. Well, you must be an essential employee. Where are you working? My peace. Yes, love my peace. Yeah, yeah. I'm probably gonna be a long time until I'm home alone. But you know what's interesting is that both my sons, their clock is like the opposite of mine. So I wake up probably about 10, 11 in the morning, and they wake up at about 3 p.m. And they're up all night, and I'm sleeping all night, and they're sleeping most of the day. So I still get that, still able to manifest that time alone, shall we say. Yeah, Rachel, I know you by yourself. Wait a minute, no, you in Florida. I'm supposed to be living vicariously through you, girl. Are you back? Or are you still in Florida? Dolores is saying, for the first time, I'm working remotely, which I wasn't sure I would like, but I do like not commuting, being able to eat homemade meals. Yeah, wondering if I can continue this afterwards. Isn't that interesting? You gonna be among a lot of people wondering if they can do that afterward because their jobs told them that they don't have the technology for them to work from home. Not everybody working from home, so somehow they came up with the technology. I'm just saying, things about to change. Things about to change. With my uncle in Florida, hence the crazy interestingness with my family. Oh, that's right. So you have a lot of family around you now. Yeah, I get that. I get that. Beautiful. I think everything's going to shift, man. And I'm looking forward to it. There's so many possibilities that is just so deliciously possible. So good, so good, so good. All right. I think we're going to call it a night. I'm going to go eat something. Don't know what. Might make something between now and Bentinho's live stream at 10 o'clock, his meditation. Gonna see what I can do here. All right. Well, I think we're good. Gonna call it a night. And I don't know if I'll be back next week. I don't know. I wasn't even planning on being back this week. So we'll see what happens this week. And then if I have something to share, I'll share. Unless anyone has any questions or needs support in anything, let me not leave before I offer my support. Anyone has any questions that they need support in? Charmaine's just getting in touch with her inner self. Beautiful, beautiful. Nothing better than that, right? Nothing better than that. Love to you as well, Miss Siafu. Love to you as well. All right. Well, it seems like everybody's complete. I don't see any hands raising. Love to all of you. Claude is saying, with my free time, I've been thinking on my desires way more, specifically on the person I want to be with. So the vibrational shift is like ready already. Any recommendations? Let me look at your words a little bit more. So I'm gonna go into Claude's question here, and I'm just gonna check in with spirit on your behalf. So with my free time, I've been thinking on my desires way more, specifically on a person I want to be with. So the vibrational shift is like ready already. Hang on. I'm sorry, I just have to stare at your words so I can feel your vibration a little bit. Okay. Thank you, Drea. Let me start looking at everybody because I'm getting distracted. I can't focus. All right. We were trying to say something here. Go ahead, folks. My non-physical friends. What do you guys think? Okay. So they said, let him know not to think so hard about the person he wants to be with. Just be the vibration of that which is desired. They're saying fall in love with self first. Love you for all that you are, all of your so-called flaws. Have you been thinking about your flaws? They said, let him know all of his so-called flaws. Let him wrap his arms around that first and love himself 100%. And the person that is a vibrational match to the love that is blossoming from you will make their way into your experience eventually. They're saying so many humans just want to make a list of the things that they want in a person or want to focus on the person, the elements of the person that they want to attract. Those are playful and beautiful. They're saying that those are beautiful things to be playful about, but none of that is actually necessary. Simply be in the vibration of what would feel amazing to you, not necessarily pulling out elements of what you would want to have, such as, what the person would like, what the person would look like, what the person, etc., but more in the vein of, here's what would be amazingly fun for me to enjoy. And if you focus on what would be amazingly fun for you to enjoy and love that in this very moment, fall in love with that right now. Don't wait for the person to show up, but fall in love with that right now. Then when in your space of falling in love with all of those elements of what would be amazingly fun for you to experience, without even thinking about whether that person is going to show up, they're saying that would magnetically pull in everything that is a match to the vibration that you're offering. And the vibration that you're offering comes from what you love and what feels like fun for you. Stay there rather than focusing outward about what you want the other person to look like and be like. Just focus on focus on you, they're saying. Keep the focus on you, what would be fun for you, what would be pleasurable for you, what would be delightful for you, what would be romantic for you. Just focus on what you want to feel like in all of this, and let the universe do its work in matching your vibration. So hopefully that makes sense. Beautiful. Rachel is saying, so I'm feeling no desire to come back to Georgia. No! But I'm feeling excited to live in Florida. I know. Maybe I'll just come to you. maybe you could stay there, and I'm gonna go where Rachel is. Just curious as to how all of this is gonna play out. Yeah, stay curious. Are you asking for me to check in with spirit, or are you just offering your feeling? Oh, okay. All right. Hold up. Okay. Um, hmm. I'm gonna unmute you, Claude, in a second. Claude is like the only guy here. I'd love to hear your voice. Okay. Shifting into things happening, but I'm impatient. Okay. All right. What fam? What you got to say for Miss Rachel here? They're always so playfully in love with you, girl. That's because you're so in touch with them. They're saying they're saying we're playfully in love with her spirit and her lightheartedness in all of this. We're inviting her to stay lighthearted. So they're saying same as for Claude, stay in love with what you feel. Continue to fall in love with whatever lights you up there in Florida. They're saying tell her to stop thinking ahead. It's not necessary to think ahead. Let go of the thinking. Is that a new word? They said let go of the thinking aheadedness. More. They're saying we are basking in the excitement with you. Stay there. There's nothing further that needs to be thought out. They're saying if you stay in the energy of your excitement and you stay in the, they're saying go do more of what you love to do in Florida. Don't be afraid to get out there and do what you love to do. Do more of that. And in the excitement and the passion and in the falling in love with the environment, the sunshine, the palm trees, the elements, the air, everything, in your vibration of falling in love with all of it, everything will come to you so that you will know what to do. I heard something and I was like, what does that mean? Let me just ask for clarification. What I heard was we're laughing our heads off, and I'm like, what? Why? What does that mean? And they're saying we're so in the joy of all of this with her. We're feeling her heightened state of joy, and we're in that with her. We're inviting her to allow herself to just stay there. The thinking ahead is not required. Just stay there. Stay in the joy. Stay in the knowing that you're beautifully supported in all of this. And allow the universe to match your heightened state of joy as it surely will. They're saying, think about it if it feels like fun to think about. But when it goes into wanting to plan it all out and pre-thinking it all, you bog yourself down with too much of the details. Just stay in the energy of love, stay in the energy of excitement, stay in the energy of fun, stay in the energy of joy. When you remain in that energy, there we are with you. And we will be part of what comes to you as the universe brings you the insights. And they're saying, I'm seeing the finger pointing and pointing you in the direction that you should go. Just got completely flushed with chills. The direction into which you should go does not require pre-thought. It requires your being in stillness and your being in the love for what you do. And as you saturate your being with that stillness and with that passion and with that love, the pointing will happen out of the blue, they're saying. And you'll suddenly know this is the next step. And you'll suddenly know again, this is the next step. And then again, you will know this is the next step. And none of it has to be pre-thought. And those next steps that you will take, they're showing me you like jumping for joy. They're saying those next steps that you will take that will naturally unfold for you will leave you ecstatically happy and in joy. And you'll take each step along the way in joy. Allow that to happen by you staying within your passion, staying within your joy, and allow the universe to do its thing. And they're wanting to expand this message to everyone that's listening. So many of you in all of this happening right now are trying to plan ahead and trying to plan out what next to do, or trying to figure out what this shift means for you. None of this needs to be figured out. Simply stay in your peace, simply stay in your joy, and allow the universe to do its thing. They're saying the universe has multitudes of different ways in which it can bring into your experience what is desired. Simply stay in your element of passion, your element of joy, your element of loving, doing what you love to do. Those of you who are working from home and falling in love with it, and you're thinking ahead, like, well, when this is over, I'll have to go back to the drudgery of this job and the drudgery of commuting and all of that. When they're saying when you allow your mind to go there and you're leaping ahead and you're thinking ahead, you are aligning with that reality. Stay in the joy, stay in the loving of what you're doing right now. Most of you are in this for at least another 30 days. Just stay in the love of what you do, in the celebration of, I get to work from home. I get to work from home. What if this is forever? I get to work from home. And go into that what if of knowing that this is a possibility. Yes, it is. They're saying, some of you saying, is it? They're saying, yes, it is a possibility. And as much as you can stay in alignment and attuned into that possibility, it is yours. That possibility is yours to have. But what many of you are doing is seeing this as temporary, and it may be temporary for some of you, but in as much as you want to align your vibration with the possibility that this being something that is permanent for you, or something that is more long-term for you, you can allow that to happen simply by tuning into that reality. They're saying you can step into that timeline of what is desired without pre-thinking it. You can simply fall in love with what's happening right now. They're reminding us the only moment that you have access to is this now moment. You take yourself into anxiety, worry, concern, disappointment when you're thinking ahead. Just be in this now moment and what's beautifully unfolding right now. And as you stay in the energy of what you love right now, you are more aligned with that timeline, that reality, that perspective, that probability, that possibility. There's no need to think ahead. Remain in what you love to do now. Beautiful. Rachel wants to talk. Okay. So let me, Rachel, let me see. Where are you? Okay. So I'm going to unmute you, Rachel, and then Claude, I'm going to come back to you.
Hey.
Hey. Ooh. We can't hear you. Let me make sure my.
Hey.
Ooh. Yeah, we have a.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yep, that's much better.
Yeah, I know, as your divine team was talking, it's hilarious because I was laughing hysterically because I'm so in touch with him all the time. Like,
of course, yeah.
Okay.
I know that.
Yeah, so ridiculously. And like as I'm staying in my joy, things are happening, you know, but I guess it's the like kind of family type thing that's kind of making me a little antsy. Just because I like to be in joy a lot more than they do. But
when you're in joy, what's their reaction to your joy?
I don't know. I think it might be a little bit off-putting because I'm very quiet. I'm a very quiet person and perceptive person, but I'm non-judgmental, right? So I notice, I don't know, because like like my family is kind of like they complain a lot, just put it that way. And I don't at all. So I don't know. Usually, well, I do know how to respond. Either I just don't respond or I'm just like, oh, okay. And then like, that's the end of the conversation.
And they want to have more conversation.
Right. So I'm like maneuvering ways. And I love the just a confirmation of just like going out and just like being out more in stillness and doing whatever lights me up or whatever and not worrying about that. Cause I think that's more what I felt yesterday too, when I was just like, I just want to be in stillness. I just want to be. I don't want to talk to nobody. I just want to be in stillness. And so, yeah, it was such a confirmation. And I just love that. Yeah, that's all I want to share. And just, I love that. I love the shifts that I'm feeling are like the more and the bliss thing. It's almost like when you shared the Follow Your Bliss series, those are feeling like it's like sticking more now, more than ever, like in a new way. Yeah.
Totally get that. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go to Claude. Welcome, Claude. I think I unmuted you. Oh, hang on. Maybe I didn't. Hang on. Oh, hang on. Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Just want to say,
how long have you been in our community?
For a long time. Actually,
I've never seen your names until last week.
Actually, I've been watching your video for probably like 2 years or more.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I've never seen your name.
Yeah,
I just remember the guys because they're so rare.
I noticed. Yeah, just wanted to say thank you because it's been difficult to just focus on what makes me happy and like lights me up. It's been difficult just to trust that the universe will respond to that. So
yeah, because we were conditioned to believe in work.
Process. And like trying and like hustling. So it's like, can I really just chill out and just let everything happen? So
of course you can.
So it was a confirmation of what you said today in your divine team. So yeah, just in more this time that you have more free time is like, what should I do now to make this happen? So with all this free time. Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just gonna chill out, enjoy more, and let the rest. Yeah, I'm home.
Yeah.
I'm actually from Venezuela, living in Mexico.
Ah, so did you grow up in Venezuela?
Yeah, I grew up in Venezuela.
My grandmother is from Venezuela.
Oh, that's so cool.
Because we're right off the coast of Venezuela, Trinidad is.
Exactly, super near.
Yeah, her name was Emanuelita.
Oh, wow. Pretty cool.
Spanish in me.
Oh, okay, that's fine. We can practice some Spanish later.
There you go. I know very little Spanish, but I told there's Spanish in my blood.
Oh, cool.
Well, nice talking to you.
Yeah, it's nice talking to you. I feel like I'm a little...
You're from Venezuela and you're where?
In Mexico.
Mexico. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So I feel a little like starstruck because I've watched your video for a long time.
I'm just like you, brother.
I know, but it's still fun.
Here. But I feel it's funny. Last week when you were on, I felt like that was the first time I saw your name in a live stream. But again, I normally don't pay attention to who's in the live stream, but I feel in more of an interactive mode now. So I pay more attention to who's actually present. So maybe that's why I saw you.
Yeah.
Or maybe the universe just decided this was time for him to be seen.
I guess so. Usually I never comment any video or I just listen.
That's why then?
Yeah, of course.
Now, do you live alone?
No, I have roommates.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they all home?
No, right now it's just me at home. Yeah.
Oh, nice though.
Yeah, pretty nice.
Well, every time somebody says they're alone, I go, "Oh, that's so nice," but not everybody likes being alone. I forget that I'm a loner.
Yeah, it's the opposite for me. I prefer to be around people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How are you doing being home alone?
It's exactly what I was saying. It's like, well, if you don't like to be alone, then you got to shift vibrationally in being accompanied. So it's more evident now. Yeah, we are in quarantine here, and I'm an English teacher. So
Oh.
I've been just teaching from home since like
okay.
17th of March for a long time already.
Do you teach by video?
Yeah, also by Zoom, actually.
Mm-hmm. Who are you teaching?
People from here, from the same city.
Okay, adults.
There's adults, also teenagers.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so nice talking to you.
So nice to talk to you too.
I know, yeah. All right, well, let me mute you.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, anyone else have something to share? You can raise hand. If you want me to check in with Spirit on your behalf about something, I'd be happy to do that. Oh, you're welcome, Rachel. You're a beacon of light too, girlfriend. You know you are. Miss Lizzie, okay. Miss Lizzie.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yep.
Oh, good. I have a question on behalf of one of my meditation students.
Uh-huh.
She's the one that I mentioned that cried during the meditation. And I don't know if Spirit could give me some insight to try to help her. She's caught up in her own drama, and she says she can't, that meditation doesn't work for her very well because she has something called tinnitus.
Tinnitus, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And she said, what can she do to be able to quiet herself?
They instantly said, focus on your breathing. Have her focus on her breathing. So let me just see if there's more. I know. They're saying, you know, we are with her just as much as we are with you. They're saying, they're expounding on that. They're like, we're guiding her. We're guiding her. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. So they're saying, we think it's beautiful that you're seeking help on her behalf, but she is having an experience that was meant for her to have. And that experience was meant to bring her into more of her true self. Oh, I see. They're saying so many times when you see someone, quote unquote, suffering or not in a good place or having a hard time with something, your compassion wants to rescue them from that experience. Stay in compassion for sure, but also see that every experience that every human being is having was meant for them to have. Every experience they're having is for their growth, for their greater expansion, greater awareness. They're saying, try not to yank them out of that experience too quickly because you can't stand for them to suffer. They're saying she is having the experience that her soul intended to have. This journey that she is on is meant for her expansion. She's connected with you as part of the journey of the expansion. They're saying, don't be too eager to reach in there and try to pull her out of her misery. She has to navigate this on her own. Yes, give her guidance from your place of compassion, but don't be too eager to resolve the issues for her. The things that she is having to navigate was her soul's intention, and it was part of her soul's growth and her soul's plan to navigate each of these different phases of her journey. The best that you can do is to help her in what she is in right now without trying to solve those issues for her. They say be a vessel of light, be a vessel of love, continue to be that vessel of compassion. They're saying your very example is perhaps the most profound thing that you can do in her experience. There's no need to search for an answer for her. And again, they're saying, we are with her. We're talking to her. She has divine beings around her as well. Perhaps in your conversations with her, if she's open and you sense that she's open to it, let her know that she's not alone, remind her that she's not alone, and remind her that in her place of stillness, simply focusing on the breath, she can listen for what guidance is there for her. They're saying meditation is a really big thing in your realm, and it's a beautiful thing that brings you into stillness, but one can move into stillness in ways other than meditation. If she's not able to, quote unquote, meditate in a particular prescribed way, she can find a way to move into stillness by walks in nature, by simply staring at the clouds, by simply sitting under a tree, whatever, allow her to have whatever experience would facilitate her entrance into stillness, which may not be the same way that you enter into stillness, and be open to that. And again, they're emphasizing we're there with her as much as we're there with every single one of you. She is never alone. Perhaps she just needs to be reminded by another soul that she is never alone. And you may be that person for her to remind her that she's never alone. But there's no need to rush to find solutions on her behalf. This journey will be a beautiful one for her. Allow her to have her journey. Be a compassionate vessel of support and light, but allow her to have her journey. Be there when she has questions, but be very careful with offering too much advice before it is requested. Allow her the space to be in her experience, and allow her the space to ask questions when she feels like she wants to reach out to ask those questions. Do not be so concerned about offering a lot of advice at this time in her journey. Allow her the space to have her journey. When she's ready to reach out and request help, she will do so on her own. Give her the space to do that. They're saying this journey is very much for her. It's very much for her. And in all of the experiences that she's traversing, she'll begin to see and experience more and more of her true self. They are asking that you just be confident that that will happen for her in her own timing, in her own divine timing.
Wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? All right. No more hands going up. I think we're good. Also, can I remain in trust when I don't know if I'll be able to go back to the US or Korea? Will extend my stay here. Are you asking how can you remain in trust? So, because of the situation. You still here, Soul? I think you are. How? Okay. How can you remain in trust? How can she remain in trust, beautiful beings? They're saying trust does not come from outside circumstantial situations. Trust comes from, they're saying true trust. True trust. You can have trust in lots of external things and lots of external circumstances and situations. But they're saying we invite you into trusting who you are. They're saying as a vessel of light, trust who you are. In this very situation, as different, they're saying as different elements arise, they're showing like different, they're showing me like different, there's not one thing that's happening, but there's different things that are happening. And they're saying as different elements arise, know who you are in all of this. They're pointing back to the alchemy meditation, by the way. Know who you are in all of this. Return to your true self in all of this. Move into your true self in all of this. And I'm asking, is there more? Oh, they're saying, we see you going inside yourself and feeling huge, feeling large, feeling infinite. And then you look outside again and you go, yeah, but this is happening out here. And you lose touch with your true self. while you're looking at what's happening out here, and this is happening and that's at play and this is at play and that's at play. And then there are moments when you come right back into the infiniteness of who you are, and you feel that, and you feel how powerful you are, and you feel your own power. And then you let go again and you start looking at the elements that are outside. And they're saying, as you look at the elements that are outside, return to your true self in your looking. They're saying, in your looking, look from your infinite self. When you look from your infinite self rather than your human eyes and your human awareness, look at these situations from your infinite awareness. They're just temporary elements at play in the movie and the script of your life. When you look at them from your infinite self, you know that all is possible. And no matter what elements are at play, you can look at them, you can glance at them and allow them to have absolutely no impact on your awareness of your infinite self. But what's happening is you have moments of awareness of your infinite self, and then you move right back into concern and paying attention to each of those things. When you trust who you are, everything that's happening outside of you, and they're saying, please have everyone pay attention. When you trust who you are, everything that's happening outside of yourself has no consequence on your awareness of who you are. When you know that you are divine, when you know that you are infinite, when you know that you are the writer of the story that's playing out, you can stay in your infinite self and be in the writing and the scripting of what's playing out. So when you see things play out that may not be a match to what you desire, it doesn't bother you because you know you're the writer. So it may be playing out right now, just like your pandemic is playing out, and some of you have left that element and you're in your eternal self. So you're not even experiencing what's happening on your earth right now because you've moved into the element of your true self, into your non-physical self. In the awareness of your non-physical self, when you do your looking from that place, what you're looking at looks like a game. It does not look concerning. When you look from your physical eyes, it looks concerning because you see this at play and you see that at play and you see this may fall apart and I may get sent home and you have all these things playing out from your physical mind. But when you're in your true self, when you're in your infinite self, you look at all the possibilities and you know that you're going to be okay no matter what plays out. Whether you are in Korea, the US, or in any other country, you know that no matter where you are, it's where you're supposed to be. And that's your trust. No matter where I am, it's exactly where I'm supposed to be. You're holding on to your desire too tightly. Let go of it. Say, yeah, I would love to be here and anywhere else that my soul desires to be. And when you're in that place where no matter where I am, it's exactly where I'm supposed to be, that's your trust. That's your knowing. They're saying we're inviting you to move from trust to knowing. When you're in the knowing of your true self, when you know who you truly are, that knowing transcends everything that's playing out. So things are playing out, but they have no effect on your knowing of who you truly are. When you know who you are, you know whether this plays out in this way, or this plays out in this way, or this plays out in this way, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be for whatever reason. That's your knowing. And if you hold too tightly I need to be here because this is what will bring me joy, or I need to have this because that will be more fulfilling, then you're gripping tightly to possibilities. And the universe has more possibility for you than you could ever count. What you're seeing as potentials feel good, like, yes, it would be cool to stay in Seoul. Yes, it would be cool to be in this other place. But know that your soul knows it's going to be cool to be wherever. And no matter where you are, it's exactly where you were supposed to be. So we're inviting you to hold loosely. That's where your trust and your knowing comes from. You look at everything that's possible, everything that's probable, and you go back into no matter what happens, I'm good. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be in whatever is occurring. whether it's a learning experience, a growth experience, a blossoming experience, a different possibility, a different probability. Yes, look into all that's possible and find joy in it. And yes, in the different possibilities that exist for you, find your passion in it. But in your passion, hold those possibilities and probabilities very loosely. Instead of gripping onto one and saying, this is the one I really, 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 really want to have, let go of that and go, this is something that would be cool. And I'm open to whatever else the universe has for me. And no matter where I am, it's exactly where I should be. And it would be beautiful to be here. And if I'm not, it's going to be beautiful to be elsewhere, because the beauty comes from within, not from the physical presence of where I am. So there's wanting to conclude by saying we're inviting you into that knowing, not a trust that comes and goes dependent on the situation, but a knowing for who you truly are, and a knowing that you can be the writer of the script of your life. And even if you so-called failed at writing the script of your life and you experience something that's unwanted, it is also exactly where you're supposed to be. And in that so-called unwanted circumstance or situation, you go back to your knowing that this is for you. And you ask, how is this for me? And you see what it's here for. And in your seeing and in your knowing of what it's here for, you blossom right where you are. And more things unfold for you. They're saying, please remind her that every situation is temporary. All things experienced on planet Earth is temporal. We see you worried about one situation versus another, but they're all temporal. And none of them has to play out in any particular way for you to tap into the joy that you are. Joy is your birthright. It is who you are. Peace is who you are. When you know that, anything that's possible or probable does not scare you any longer. For you know that no matter what plays out, you're going to be okay because you know who you are. And you know that any situation that plays out is for your good and for your higher awareness and for your transcending the fears that are ahead, that were behind you, transcending the fears that were behind you. And that's when you move into that knowing, is when you have transcended the fear of one thing working out or not. When you move into that knowing that no matter what happens, I'll be fine. No matter what happens, it'll all work out in my favor. It may not look that way in the beginning, but it's going to work out for me. So I allow it to work out for me. And they're saying in your allowing, in that place of knowing, that's when things begin to work out in magical ways, because you just trust the universe. You trust yourself. You trust your inner knowing. You trust your inner guidance. You trust that all is well for you. You know that all will be well for you. In that knowing, your vibration expands to match the things that you desire, and you no longer are concerned about the little components that are at play. You're in that grander scope of awareness that if I stay in the vibration of who I am, all is well for me, and all will work out well for me no matter what is playing out. And no matter where I am, that's exactly where I should be. Know that. Know that. Okay. She's saying, it's true, they know me. Of course. Of course. Feeling at peace. Wonderful, wonderful. I will step into that knowing it's all for my good. Thank you. And I feel at peace. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Anyone else? Let me see if any other hands are raised. No other hands are raised, so I think we're good. Make sure I'm not missing anyone. I'm scrolling. All right. Well, I think we're good here. And what I'll do lastly is I'm going to unmute everyone. Please unmute yourselves, and everyone can hear everyone's voice say goodbye and send some love in everyone's direction by the vocal tones of your love. So I'm just going to unmute you. Oop. Some of you are already. Oh, everybody's on. Oh, everybody's unmuted. Okay. Wait, hang on. Unmute. Unmute.
Bye.
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 Thank you,
Bye.
everybody. Much
Bye.
love to all.
Thank you.
You're welcome. See you next time. Bye bye. Enjoy the
Thank
rest of
you.
your
Bye
weekend.
bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye everybody.
Bye bye, everyone.
Bye bye.